Well, Adrian, good afternoon. My name's Whyte. I'm from New York, and thank you for that amazing story, which I know I've got to carry on in an accent, am I right? Oh, I'm from Blackpool, really, so okay, we'll take that out the window. But I just thought now it's accents. We're into the whole accents session now. As you might have heard, I just got a very short notice call to come today, so can I just say, I wish I'd thought of SOFII. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thank you. What I'd like to share with you in the limited time that we have is a story that has always inspired me and is a very, very old story. And it really is once upon a time. It's a powerful, emotional story that uses disaster to actually establish a legacy. The key points of this story is brought about by anger, it's established by an individual, and 100 years on, its principles are on the high street today. Like all great ideas, as we've heard today, it's simple, it's smart, it's direct, and it's popular. It starts with sacrifice. On the 9th of December 1886, 3 lifeboats left from the northwest coast and went out to rescue 12 complete strangers on the German barge called the Mexico. That night, 27 crew never returned home from the lifeboats, and in fact one of the lifeboats was completely lost. It left 50 orphans. 50 orphans. And people were devastated, obviously not only in the local community, but in the news around the UK. One man, one person, Sir Charles Mackney, a Manchester businessman, decided quite angrily that something had to be done to help fund these orphans. And he did something extraordinary. He wanted to bring fundraising to Manchester in a big way. He couldn't take Manchester to the coast in 1886, but he wanted to actually bring the cause to Manchester. And he invented the very first street fundraising collection. He invented, actually, cause-facing fundraising. This is something I've just made up, by the way, on the train. So if you're going to Google it and find something, please, I might have to trademark it later, but cause-facing. And what he actually did, which was incredible in those times, that he took 2 lifeboats from the coast of the northwest coast and brought them with their crews and their families right into the centre of Manchester. Now, this isn't a story about lifeboats. This is a story about individuals and the way that individuals actually empower people to do something extraordinary. And by bringing the 2 surviving lifeboats and the surviving crew to Manchester, actually establishing this first fundraising collection, he actually provided people with an opportunity to celebrate, a celebration of giving publicly. And he truly brought donors face to face with the cause. I wish I'd thought of that. They raised £400 on the day, with bags tied on the end of their oars, leaning out across the crowds. The word had gone out that the lifeboats were in town, and whole areas and neighbourhoods of Manchester came out onto the streets to see these people. They really brought the cause home to the donors. Not only did they raise £400 on the day, which in those days was a substantial result, but people, individuals, then pledged over £5,000. One of the first major donor programs. Then, as a result of those donations, companies then provided an additional figure. And ultimately, at the end of the collection, £30,000 had been raised, an astonishing amount before the turn of that century. So street fundraising, I believe, collection boxes can all find, and street fundraisers can all find their roots in the ideals and the ideas of Sir Charles. So I'd like you to give a round of applause, please, to Sir Charles. You might think this is an old story with very bored and black and white principles. But sacrifice as a habit of reminding us it's there every day.
I was quite sure that I will never come home when I was hanging there. That day I died 4 times. And that's for sure. If it hadn't been for this magnificent men in the lifeboat, I haven't been here today.
Take men of more words than me to do it proper justice, I think, but there's the shrieking of the wind in the rigging, there's the driving sleet and snow going along horizontally, the spray. Oh, I've got mental first snapshots in my mind which have never changed, never left me.
We learn a lot from history, and if you look back at the start of your charity, you'll find some incredible stories of why people decided to come together, and sometimes it's quite easy to forget those stories. We've heard so much today about the power of those stories. Today, the RNLI still has sacrifice at the heart of their cause. You might think it's quite an easy example to show, but part of this story is about showing that individuals, Sir Charles, was angry about what had happened and wanted to make a change, and he invented street fundraising. I think we owe quite a lot to Sir Charles, and today those kind of cause-facing on the street fundraisers, who I certainly feel for, who sometimes have their own sacrifices, stood on the road having to deal with some very offensive people, I think they deserve our applause as well for being the future of what Sir Charles really represented. I wish I'd thought of that.